Hello and welcome to Mind, Mood and Food podcast with me, Margaret Bell, anti-diet powered coach and gut health expert, and my partner in crime, Adele Derbyshire.
Hello, I am a yoga teacher and creator of Find Your Inner Sparkle, which is a toolbox, 50 ways to help you to look and feel better from the inside out.
And today, quite a deep one. The I'll be happy when syndrome. I think we're all guilty of this at times. I'll be happy when I've got a new car. I'll be happy when I've got a new house. I'll be happy when I've got a new boyfriend. Not me personally.
I'll be happy,
I'm very happy.
I'll be happy when I've lost a stone. That's mine. Always.
Yes. Sorry if my partner is listening. That has nothing to do with it. That was just an example.
You said
Digging
that,
myself
not me.
a grave here.
I'll be happy when I've got a new car. I'll be happy when I've got my dream house. Exactly. And a yacht and a villa in Spain.
Yeah. So it's all about the I'll be happy when this happens. But really, will you?
No. I think this is one of my 50 tools, because it dawned on me, I think, one day when I was doing a lot of research and study into how to be happy. It's just always been something that I've been fascinated with. And it's a bit like that image of climbing up a mountain. And it's like a mini mountain, because at the top of that mountain is this thing that you think when you get it, it's going to be the absolute be all and end all. So, you know, if it's the moving house or if it's the dream car, you know, like we're just conditioned as humans to want things and to desire things and to desire growth and all of that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with like wanting more or wanting to have something. I think we can, especially people on a spiritual journey like myself, you know, as a yogi, we can find ourselves feeling guilty for wanting, you know, a new pair of shoes or trainers or a handbag or something, because there's a lot in the spiritual world which, you know, is quite right, that says happiness doesn't come in the form of material things, and that is right. It comes from the inside, but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong in desiring nice things. I think the problem becomes when we think that when we get that thing, that's it, and we're going to feel happy. We're going to fill that little hole in our tummies or in our heart that we feel this yearning that we're not quite satisfied about something and we can't quite put our finger on it. And when we're slim, when we've lost that stone, or when we've made our £5,000 a month income, whatever our personal goals are, that's it then. We'll just feel happy and everything will be good. And it just doesn't happen like that. You know, if you've ever wanted something like to lose a few pounds and then you've done it, you can probably think back and relate. You will probably have been really happy. You'll be elated for about a week, but then you probably think, oh, I think I want to lose a few more pounds now, or well, I want the outfit now, I want the clothes that go with it, or I want the fancy car, or I want the new boyfriend or the new partner, like, you know, whatever it is, it's on to the next thing. So this image of a mountain is we get to the top of our mountain, but there's just another one to climb, and another one to climb, and another one to climb. And I think a great example of this to really drive it home would be celebrities. So if you look at celebrities, they've got a real drive and desire to be popular and to be famous and to be revered. And it's no secret or no surprise the amount of celebrities that fall into depression or sadly even take their own life, because I think what happens is they actually do have it all. So they have the money, they've probably lost the weight, you know, to become admired for their physique and whatever it is. So if you've got as slim as you want, you've got the perfect partner, you've got this big massive dream house with a pool, and you're in the sunshine, and you've got all the things, and then you wake up and think, but I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? And I think that is really, really striking. And for people, you know, like us to think, well, we still have those goals because we've not got the massive house, or we've not got the money, or we've not got this, that, and the other. But just be mindful that when you do get it, if you get it, you know, it doesn't mean that then this serotonin boosting sort of shower of happiness is going to cascade over you, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm there, I've arrived. It doesn't
I think it's the pinning it, you know, pinning your happiness on,
hanging your hat on your goals,
on those things, whereas we really need to look within.
Absolutely.
No amount of money is going to buy happiness. Buy you know, buy things that may make you happy for a while, but it's the actual happiness. Yeah, exactly.
It's fleeting. And that's the thing, I think what we're about on this podcast channel is just touching on all these different subjects to make people think. I like to just make people think who maybe would, you know, be driven by their subconscious and not really be what we call awake in the yoga world, and to be just sort of but subconscious mind's going, just keep going, because once you get that you'll be happy, once you get that you'll be happy. And it's really, really important, because it's like one of the biggest and most dangerous mistakes we can make, to think like that. And I teach my kids obviously all this stuff because I want them to kind of learn from things that I didn't know when I was younger, and to be happy in the now. So if they're moaning about school or whatever it might be, you know, the other thing with humans is we always want something else, and the grass is always greener. So if you're at school, you want to leave school, and then once you've left school, you think, oh, I'll be great when I get to college. And when you get to college, you want to get to uni, or when well, I'm sick of school, I want to be happy when I get a job, I want to get some money. And you know, it's always easy to look to the next thing.
And then sometimes we get to the age of 40, what have you, it's like, I want to be a kid again.
I knew this lady once that I think she worked in like HR or something, and she'd given it up because she didn't want to be in the rat race, which was it spoke to me, because that's what I was like. And she didn't want to be in that 9 to 5, stuck in a job in an office and all that sort of stuff. So she'd gone to work for herself, and we were in a similar field of business at the time. And after a while, she announced that she was getting a job back in the HR world, and she was ecstatic about it. And I was just like, what? That's weird. Hang on a minute. And I was really interested in it, because I was like, oh, that's kind of what I've done, like left that world and gone and done something else that worked for myself. Because you think, I tell you what, this is what's draining the life out of me. Once I work for myself, then I'll be happy. And then she realized that, oh, there you go. If you can hear my dog, the children have just arrived home from school. I told you that might happen. She realized then that this was what she thought would make her happy, and now this was difficult because you're working on your own. You don't have the colleagues, you know, you don't have the parties and the Christmas dues, and you don't have that little chat at the coffee machine. You can't like get dressed up and leave the house and go and do all the things, go out for lunch in your lunch hour. So all the things that she had not managed to appreciate whilst she was doing it, she missed. And so she went back, and at the time she announced it, this was a few years ago. She might know if she's listening that I'm talking about, I have no idea. I was so shocked. It literally dawned on me like a bell going off in my head. It's the I'll be happy when syndrome. And maybe she'll realize that now and actually find the gratitude and appreciation for those things, but maybe not. Because maybe she didn't know, maybe she hadn't put a finger on it. She just probably thought, I'm not happy at the moment, I will be when I do this. So ping-ponged back into that world. Now, if she'd not woken up to that and triggered, it's because humans always think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. It doesn't really matter where you're working or what you're doing in a way. There are lots of things we can do to find happiness in our present situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was like, oh, I get it. And so it became one of my tools because it was just so powerful. It's what you call having an insight, having that
Yeah,
aha moment when everything becomes clear.
yeah, that wonderful light bulb
Mm,
moment. I really get where you're coming from, because when I was in full-time employment, I had that feeling, once I'm self-employed, I will be a lot happier. I have
mm,
to say I am.
mm.
Definitely, I know I made the right decision. But there is still a little bit there thinking, life might be a little bit easier for us back employed. But
Yeah, me too. Of course, like you don't know the half of it when you're in a job and you're frustrated and you're thinking, I wish I could just do this myself. Like, you don't realize how difficult it is. It's not easy, and anyone that works for themselves will sit round and agree with you. If you're
yeah.
listening to this and you are an entrepreneur or you've got your own business, do drop us a comment.
Oh yes, let us know.
You know, like, you have to be everything, like the
Mhm.
marketing department, the complaints department, the compliance department, the sales department, the actual products department, so there's so much work to it. It's not 9 to 5, you're working difficult hours, you're working weekends and stuff like that. So we don't know that at the time. We think it all just looks wonderful outside looking in. And like you said, I know that I've made the right decision because there's just this innate desire in me to do this and to live my dharma and my purpose, and to create what I'm creating. So I'm not going to go back on that and sort of I can't, like, there's something inside that wants me to keep driving forward with it. But whilst things are difficult, whilst there are some things that are difficult, it's important to sit there and remember not to think, oh, but I'd be happier if I was doing the other thing, because it's finding that gratitude and that appreciation for that current situation.
Absolutely. So if you were speaking to someone who was constantly in this kind of mindset of, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, what would be a couple of things that you could actually get them to do to kind of start gently changing that kind
Great
of
question.
mindset?
Kind of how to get off the hamster wheel, because the problem is when we're in this trap, the syndrome or the hamster wheel of I'll be happy, whatever you want to call it, I always start with awareness. I really do. Like, I think most of the things that I teach, you can't change anything unless you're aware of it. So like I said about people going through life just reactive, most people, 90% of people, are not awake, and that means that they're just reacting to their circumstances, and they're unfortunately feeling like their external circumstances are the thing that's making them happy or not happy, and that it's because it's raining, or it's because they're not slim yet, or it's because they don't have a nice house, or it's because someone else is more fortunate than them, they've got more opportunities. It's not their fault, not their responsibility. So getting some awareness on your thoughts is always step one, because if you're aware that you're thinking like that, you've got that foundation to step forward and to shift out of it. Then I would say one of the podcasts that we recently talked about of gratitude, and this is a lot of my tools overlap onto each other. So gratitude is a definite thing to practice to help you move out of this one. So you can't possibly be in this negative spiral of I'm not happy right now, I will be happy when this happens, if you spend 5-10 minutes every morning literally going through a few things for which you are really grateful for now, because you're shifting your mindset out of lack and scarcity and a place of not having X, Y, and Z to a place of feeling like you are the luckiest person in the world, that you have got hot water coming out of your taps for your shower in the morning, or you have got food on the table. So yeah, you might think, but I still have a goal of losing a few pounds, and why not? That's a healthy goal. If you're a little bit overweight and you want to change your eating habits to lose a few pounds, to get a bit fitter and to become healthier, but that doesn't stop you having some gratitude for your body today. And that can help you get out of this kind of like self-loathing spiral that, you know, you're not a good person, or you hate yourself because you're carrying a few extra pounds. Like we can shift ourselves into gratitude for the fact that we've got eyes that can see. Like it's just something that you do have to practice, because people don't tend to do that. But if you didn't have sight, that's something that you would give every last penny in the bank for. You just, there would be no amount of money that could, you know, or even carrying that extra stone. I carry that as opposed to not have my ears working, that my eyes working, you know, and my sense of taste and so, you know, all the senses that we've got that give us such amazing things to be grateful for every day. The fact that your legs work, if you're fortunate enough to be able to walk.
Yeah, I think
that, you know, there's always something to be grateful for.
Definitely. This is something that I really go into with a lot of clients that do have this image of themselves that they're not really grateful for at all. And it's the whole mindset that, well, if you're grateful for what you have, it's great that you want to move forward and positively work on that. But until you accept and actually be grateful for what you have, how are you actually going to make any positive change? Because you're in a negative place. Positive changes cannot come from negativity.
No. And this causes, you know, people to kind of punish themselves, really. You know, there's such a lot of people out there, sadly, that don't feel worthy. And so it's, you know, just one of the easiest free tools out there, gratitude. And sometimes I see it a lot, you know, on social media. It's almost like a bit trendy sometimes, like, what are you grateful for today? But I know we talked about it at length in the podcast. I think you've really got to make it a habit, practice it, and really understand the benefits of it, and then you're not going to not do it, because once you know how good it is, and to get into that feeling tone around it. So yeah, awareness, gratitude is like step number 2. Step number 3 is to just be a bit more present and more mindful. So if we are constantly focusing on future goals, like I just need to get that thing and then I'll be happy, we're living in the future, we're not living in the now. So living in the now causes you to look at what you've got today. Again, it links to gratitude. So like going back to the example of the lady in the corporate job, you might not like some of the things about that job, but if you're spending too much time focusing on what you don't like, flip it and think about the bits that you do like. So maybe your skills that you might want to do, if you want to go and work for yourself, fine, have that goal, start to make steps towards it. But what you need to do is change your mindset so that you are jumping out of bed in the morning to still go to that job, because you're thinking about it differently. You might even find that you fall back in love with the current job, so you don't have to ping pong around, you know. Enjoy the time away from your house, or interacting with other people. You know, we've all been in lockdown for ages and stuff like that, so enjoy that cup of coffee in the morning on your way to work, or the people that you chat to on the train, or just whatever it is. Just look and keep on the lookout for things that you enjoy and that make you feel happy in the moment, and don't miss them, because we are missing our life because we're constantly looking for the next thing. You know, like, well, what about what's happening now? There's so many of us that are missing life because we're looking ahead all the time. And then the other one would be celebrating success. I think we're too busy, again, when we've done something that's good, oh great, bang, put that down, go to the next thing, and it's linked again with future thinking and future progression. And oh well, yeah, I've done that, so let's link it to weight loss, because that's something that you know is interesting to both of us, and crosses over what we both do. If you do want to lose half a stone, well, when you've lost that half a stone, spend a lot of time recognizing it, maybe maintain that for a while, and just be be happy with what you've got to, like the top of that little mountain, because you can bet your bottom dollar then you go, that's great, but I want another half stone or something like that. But really celebrate that win, you know, that you've just done, that absolute milestone.
Oh, I'm guilty of that one, not celebrating. Like, yeah, I've done it, brilliant, now what?
Yeah, I am too. So that's why I know when I work with clients, they're like, oh, I think probably sometimes a bit shocked that it takes effort and like forever. It's not, I can't wave a magic wand to make you feel happier. You know, it's not a tablet, it's a practice, and that takes work. So every day it's a little system that I teach, really, that starts with your gratitude in the morning. And you know, it means that you've got to constantly be on the lookout for what your thoughts are and recognizing them, catching them before you get locked in this negative spiral, and then, you know, noticing what they are and then taking the relevant action to change them, because otherwise the human condition is to just look at the negative, look at what might possibly go wrong rather than, you know, what possibly could go right. So change your thoughts, your language, the words that you use, and just really, again, coming back to that awareness piece.
Yeah, as my mum used to say, what your own grass, love.
Yeah. Well, there's a quote I wrote down by a guy called James Allen, and he says, circumstances do not make the man, they merely reveal him to himself. So might be a good one to end on, but just food for thought, just really check in, and do let us know in the comments if this resonates with you. Send us a message, drop us a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast if you would like to hear more of our witterings.
We do love to witter on. It's our favourite part of the day.
We do.
Yeah, and another great one there, Adele. It does really make you think. But yes, please do subscribe and let us know if anything you'd like us to actually discuss that we haven't discussed already.
Yeah, definitely.
Love to hear any new topics you might be thinking of. Yeah,
give us some more topics that we can get stuck into. Anything to do with mind, mood and food. Thanks, Margaret.
Thanks a lot, Adele. See you next week.